So before I show you the demo, I want to just kind of give you a real quick overview of why we built the platform, just to help you. Again, the whole idea here is to help you understand the business and the business case as much as understanding the system and why we did things the way that we did. And then I'm going to show you from a customer's perspective first, and then we'll look at the back end and really just kind of walk through all of it together. So my company's been around for 11 years, coming up on 11 years. We are a video marketing company primarily, but we've always had a technology bent. Um, when we talk about ourselves, we actually say, that we're not just a production company. We're actually a video marketing agency. So we want to help people really understand that video is a powerful tool in their marketing. And so we understand marketing first. And then secondly, we understand technology. We built a video marketing platform that hosts and manages all of our clients' videos. And we drive hundreds of thousands of views using that platform every month. And we actually built that before we ever shot any video. So we understand marketing, we understand technology, and we understand video. So enter in VLink event. So what happened when the pandemic hit is clients of ours came to us and said, hey, we need a way to go virtual because we're struggling with what's going to be next when it came to these companies that were doing different types of in-person events, conferences, and those kind of things. So when we thought about VLink events, we realized that there's actually three audiences, three customers that we're selling to. There's the event organizers, and these are the folks that own the event. There's the attendees, and obviously these are the folks that come to the event. And then there's any sponsors or exhibitors. So if you think of like a trade show, then people come to that event. Sponsors come to that event to sell their wares, or if you think of like a fair. Um, so each of these different groups have different needs. So event organizers, their primary goal is to facilitate connections between attendees and sponsors. They also want to generate income. I mean, they are the event organizer and they need to make money. The attendees want to make connections and they want to engage in the content. So when we say make connections, they go to an in-person event to meet people and to shake hands. And then they want to engage in the content. Um, the sponsors or exhibitors, they want to build brand awareness. They want to create an opportunity to get their brand in front of people, but they also want to make new contacts. So if you just put that on as a lens of what I'm about to show you, I think it will help you quite a bit. Um, I did skip this slide. A big aspect of our platform is we have high quality live streaming and on demand video. We have various types of audience engagement through polling, chat, Q&A, and more. We support a chat tool that does one-to-one or few-to-few video calls. It's fully customizable and brandable. We've got some platform agnostic concepts. And then we've also got a gated access. So only people that pay or hold a ticket can come to the event. So let me dive into an actual event. And this will be kind of a front end user's experience. And just so I don't have any cookies or I don't log in as a admin person, I'm just going to do it all in an incognito browser. Every event that we do has what we call an event lobby. And so the event lobby is really where people walk in to the event. So think of this like a conference center, a hotel, or an exhibition hall or something like that, but it's virtual. So I come to the lobby to actually check in and log in. There are branding opportunities. So this is just a graphic. In fact, I can go to another event that we did, and you'll see that it's branded different. So it's the same lobby, but different branding. These are all graphics. And if I go to, let's see, what's another one? How about this one? We even did our Christmas party virtual this year. So you can see that we can make it look pretty much however we want. Now, on the technical side, what this is just a big image and an image map. So inside the image map, if I click on the registration desk, it'll give me an opportunity to log in to the system. So we also have other hotspots that I can click on. So if I want to see who the speakers are, even before I log in, I can see who the speakers are. All right. If I want to see the agenda for the days, I can click on the agenda. And it just kind of gives the user who may want to go to this event an opportunity to see and learn a little bit about the event. This is a video that is a placeholder. That's actually me because we were the sponsor for this event. So we have a video there that is sponsored by us. But again, as I said earlier, to log in or to get started, click on the registration desk. Very simple instructions. I can log in using a username and password, and this is using I got to make sure I get my password right. This is using, your login form from MemberPress because I'm logging them in, and then I've set it to not to redirect false. So it won't redirect them to a different page, and I'll show you why. We also have a plugin called Passwordless Login, which allows us to just say, give us your email address, and we'll send you a temporary link. And then if I click here, it'll go to the registration page. Let me just do that real quick. This event is free. So there is no fees or integration with Stripe or any other PayPal or anything else to take money, but we will have some events where that's possible, and there's also coupons available. But we're not going to show you that way. We're actually going to log in using my username and password. So I'm going to log in, and once I log in, the first thing that you'll see is it reloads the page. The very first thing it does is it loads this push alert feature, and I'm going to say allow. Now I'm in an incognito window, and so it's not going to actually allow it. And then this is a 10-second delayed pop-up using Divi areas that said after 10 seconds pop that up. So in that way, we can put like an instructional video right here to help people understand how to use the platform, or it can be a welcome from one of the sponsors. I will close that. You have been working on DUD, so I will start with the features around DUD first. DUD gives the users a list of all those other attendees, and this is where those attendees can actually set their profile. Now, I created another video that talked about the calendar link, and when I show you the back end, again, you should be able to see how that calendar link is actually I've kind of Scott Williford hacked it, but I'm going to get you to fix it so that it's actually the calendar link, not a shortcut. If I click on this icon, it's going to open the directory that we've been working on. So I'm on the production site. So this is the directory that I had to build the old way. But this is a list of everyone that signed up for that event. And you'll notice that some people have filled out their information quite well. Others have just kind of have nothing but their email address and a company. If I go search me, you'll see where I have a calendar link, I have my LinkedIn profile, and I have a Twitter feed. Now, one of the things I put in one of your tasks is, as I mentioned earlier, I've kind of hacked this. I'm going to want this to be a more permanent fix rather than Scott's shortcut fix. I just want to pretty it up and make it easier so people know what's really happening. So you already know about that. So let's go back to the main stage. This is the exit. So when I want to leave, I click there and I can log out. Usually people just close their browser, but they could log out. Now this icon down here is the push alert notification that says I have alerts on or I have them off. So now they're off, now they're on, but because I'm in an incognito browser, the push alerts are not going to work anyway because it won't save it in that incognito browser. The hotspots here still work. As I mentioned earlier, this is just a big iframe. Now, what I do on the back end, and I'll show you this in a few minutes, is I have a iframe that showed to logged in users and one that showed to logged out users. And that's how we're controlling it all at the same URL. It's just based on logged in or logged out. Logged in users also get access to this menu and they all of a sudden see chat. Think of this like it is the menu to navigate through our virtual conference center. So if I were to walk down this hallway, there would be a main stage, or there might be a peach room, which is kind of a breakout room, is a smaller conference room, the park room and the pine room. These rooms are all rooms that basically make up the venue. We also have, if I go to World Trade Day and I refresh that, you'll see, because I'm logged in now, you'll see that they have the Skyview Lounge and an exhibit hall. So if I come back over here, you'll see I just have the Skyview Lounge, and we'll talk about that in a minute. The other room that is not listed here, actually it's under here, is the ballroom. So we also have a ballroom. So the ballroom is one of the pages that looks and feels like you're at a ballroom. If I go to the main stage, you'll see that this looks and feels like a main stage. If and I can get my navigation is hidden here. If I want to go to the peach room, this is like a smaller meeting room or smaller classroom, if you will. And then we have multiples of these, and each of these rooms come with a set of features that are available to it, but it's pretty robust. One of the things that we did is we created it so that it could be branded, and this is one of the branding, but all we're really doing is editing the image that's in the background here. Now, these are image maps also, and I'll show you why when we get to the back end. But let's go back to the main stage for a second. So in the main stage, people that attend an event are able to watch live, because this is the Vimeo player, but when we're doing it live, it's their live stream player. This is just not a live event, and so they're actually going to be watching full high resolution. Hold on, they're actually going to be watching full live stream, full HD quality content. And that's me again. This was live. It's what it looked like live. If I fast forward a little bit, you'll and these are his slides. We produced this content at a very high quality for him, and we do that for. We started out as a video production company, and then we became a virtual events company. You'll also notice, I'm going to stop that. You'll also notice that we have some buttons here, and these buttons could be anything that the event organizer wants. We did integrate with a product called Poll Everywhere to allow clients to insert polling. And so this gives them a way to see polls real time. If I and those polls could interact with the speaker real time. We have a link here that goes to the agenda that I showed you earlier. It's actually the same agenda. It's just copied to that page. And then we have a placeholder for the speakers. But we could have done it completely different. If I go to, let's see, WIT, got to type in WIT, which was an event we did. Their reception, their event, they had a donate button, and this went to a donation page so that people could donate money. If I went to this other event, Audience Builder Roundtable, they had a link to future events, and they had a link. And notice all these are buttons, and we're controlling them with Divi, so we can link them to anywhere that the client wants them to be linked to. One of the things we added recently is what I call Easter eggs. So I don't know if you are a gamer or not, but the reason that we've moved away from just Divi pages and moved it into all being iframes is so that we could make anywhere on this graphic clickable. And if I click right here, it actually calls a Divi area pop-up that is a Easter egg that users that find it answer the question and they get points. The more points they get, the more opportunities they get to win a prize. Or it's just a way to gamify, if you will, to make it a game to go to all the pages. All right, so we didn't talk about chat. So we partnered with a product called Comet Chat. Comet Chat is a group chat feature, and so these are group chats. These are different people, and they were all at one point online chatting. And if I click next to their names, I can actually do a one-to-one chat with these individuals. I could even do a video chat or a video call with those individuals. So it's a pretty robust chat feature. At some point down the road, I actually want to take that video call feature and make small video call rooms, hopefully using the same tool or finding a new tool. So this is Comet Chat. Let's go to the Skyview Lounge. So remember, the key thing for a event organizer is they're trying to build community. They're trying to make connections. But how do you do that virtually? So the Skyview Lounge is a way for us to facilitate people meeting each other and just chatting and talking. What we did is this is nothing but an image map. And if I click anywhere on this page, it then launches a Zoom call. So we have a little pop-up first because there's an opportunity for the sponsor to get paid. But then if I click here, it launches a Zoom call. Now, I'm not going to let it go through the whole thing because it'll start to try to connect me to a Zoom call, but you get the idea. And so this one was sponsored by my company. This one was sponsored by another company. And in this particular case, we only have 4 rooms. If I go to the WIT Skyview Lounge, you'll see a completely different graphic, but same concept. The difference here is we have 12 rooms, or 12 calls they could join. If I go to World Trade Day, they have 12, but it's yet a different graphic. So each event, we customize the graphic so that the user gets what they want. The event organizer is my customer. And in this case, they had topics, whereas these guys, they had sponsors. So I could go talk to the city of Atlanta or the Coca-Cola company. This would be where I would say, do you have any questions? But I know that you're watching this. So if you have any questions, please write them down. Now, when we work with a client or an event organizer, we walk them through all of this and guide them through it all to make sure that we get all the features that they want built into the platform. So this event that I'm looking at, which was the Tag Geek Out, had an event lobby, a main stage, a peach room, a park room, a pine room, and the Skyview Lounge. But other events, as I mentioned earlier, might have an exhibit hall. So when I go to the exhibit hall, here I actually see a map of the exhibit hall. This map, I can click anywhere on this map and it will take me directly to that vendor's booth. Okay? But there's also a navigation methodology, which is where I can click on this little walking man and I will walk the exhibit hall. So if you pay attention to the URL, I'm on booth 8. And if I click again, I will go to booth 9. And it will just step me up through every booth until I get back to booth 1. So I'm just going to keep doing this until we get to booth 1. Don't know why this is spinning. I've got something looping there. I'm going to get rid of that. It's eating up bandwidth. I think I've got 2 more booths. And you'll notice these booths are laid out very similar, but they're custom designs for every vendor. So when we built out the booths, I think this is the last one, maybe one more. Nope, this goes back to the beginning. So each booth has a set of features, but they are different types of booths. So this is what we call the advanced or tier 4 booth, or just a really high quality booth. Very graphically appealing. It has clickable spots where I can click and go to web pages. I can click and download PDFs. If you notice the URL, if I click there, it's going to download a PDF. I can click here and watch a video from the vendor. This is clickable. This is clickable. And then if I click here, it actually launches a call for me to go and talk to them. So what that does is that connects me with that exhibitor, and it uses whatever video conference call that client wants to provide. So this is a navigation tool layout that we've created, and it's just images with links. This is actually using a directory of pages and then sorting the pages alphabetically for me. And I can just skip to any booth I want to go to there. So when it comes to navigating the exhibit hall, I can click the walking man, I can click the directory, or if I'm at the very beginning, I can look at the exhibit hall map. And then that gets me back here, and then I can click based on the logos and go to whoever I want to. All right, so I just did a complete brain dump on how everything looks from a user's perspective. I showed you the Easter eggs. I showed you the lobby. These rooms, main stage, peach room, park room, pine room, and this ballroom all have the exact same functionality where we are streaming content to people using Vimeo. And so we're able to do it at a very high quality. All right. That is the primary reason people go with us. But they love the fact that we have that Skyview feature where they can connect with one another. They love the fact that I have chat so that they can actually chat with one another. They love the fact that they've got the exhibit hall, and the list just kind of goes on and on how why people really like our platform. Again, you have to keep in mind is that every event organizer is trying to facilitate connections to generate income. Every attendee wants to engage and can make connections, meet other people, and engage in content. And then lastly, sponsors want to create brand awareness and make new contacts. With our brand awareness, you can see plenty of branding opportunities here. We go to the Geek Out, there's branding opportunities in these other rooms. So there's plenty of places where we can create brand awareness to those users and help them, help the sponsors get and make contacts. All right, I'm going to take a breath. I'm going to hit pause on the recording for a second, see how long it's been. It's been 25 minutes, and then we're going to go look at the back end. I'm going to get a cup of water. All right, I am back. Let's go look at the back end and show you what we built. And I'm going to log into the production platform and start there. All right, so I'm just going to kind of work my way down and discuss each of the plugins just so you know why we have them. So Divi Areas, we're using Divi Areas a couple of ways. One is Divi Areas is the paid Divi pop-up tool. We're using Divi Areas to do pop-ups when someone first logs in. We've just started doing this, so you can see there's only one there, but we will be creating one of these pop-ups going forward for pretty much every event that we host. I'm not going to dive into the actual pop-up there, but that is actually the video that if I close this out, start with a new incognito browser, go back to the tag Geek Out. If you recall, when I first logged into this event, which let me do that again. When I first log in, it gives me the push alert notification, which is right here. So I will allow that. But if I sit here for about 10 seconds, there's the video. That's what that Divi pop-up is. This Divi pop-up was the same way for a different event. Now I created this. I don't know why I'm still calling it test trigger, but I created another kind of pop-up that is actually when I'm in a booth. So if I go to, let's see, PSC, this is another one of our projects that we've done. And if I go to their exhibit hall, and I click on, say, for example, this booth, if I wait there for 10 seconds, you will see a little pop-up that happens right here. And what we're doing is we're trying to encourage people. So it says, Scott, thanks for coming by our booth. I'm Michael Cody, and I'd love to tell you more about Flex Forward. That's actually all being pulled from this page's setup and populating that this trigger pop-up. And I'll show you how I'm doing that in a second. Actually, let's go in and edit that one just so you can see one thing. And I'm doing a deep dive on the back end, but I'm going to do it as fast as I can. So I have this tool. If you notice, it lays it out over here. if I click inside there, you will see that I say show logged in as, and I really wanted to put the word hi. I'm going to put hello, and then I'll put a comma. Hello, Scott. So now it says, so I've created a little short code called show logged in as, and I'm doing that. I'll show you how that. And then I've got the output post excerpt. And so for each page, this is being pulled, whoever's logged in, and then this is being pulled from the excerpt. Whoops, I didn't save it. Dadgummit, need to save that. Well, I'll change that later. In this one, as you will see, I'm grabbing the thumbnail image of that post. And so I've created I did a little job, not a little call to create a shortcode for thumbnail. And again, I'm not a developer. I just kind of do it sometimes. And so that's pulling in the thumbnail of the page. All right. So that's Divi areas, discard and exit. Let's go look at media. Obviously, that's exactly where we have all of our stuff. And somebody has gotten sloppy. You can see that we have a lot of uncategorized stuff. I'll get that all cleaned up. But each event kind of ends up with a set of images that we use. So this is the Pine Room that you saw a moment ago, right? And if I go back to the library, this is the Pine Room without any people in it. So we actually created images of both, because before the event, there's nobody here, and then we just use a countdown timer to say when the event's going to start. So pretty cool. So we're using a file management tool called Filebird. Under forms, we create a number of forms as needed for different things. This is for an event that we have coming up where we're collecting information from, actually that's the old event where we have people coming from to set up their booths, and they're giving us the information for that. And then these are all actually part of, well, this is part of our main website, but this beggar and how many F's and optical illusion, those are all forms that we use for the Easter eggs that I showed you. So we're using gravity forms here. It's a very, very powerful form tool. Hopefully you're familiar with it. Pages, well, we have our company pages, right? But then we also have, each event has a set of pages. So if I go look at the Geek Out pages, and I'm using a category tool so it's easy to find. Here's our lobby, here's our directory, here's the main stage, the park room, the peach room, the pine room, and the sky view. We also use, if you notice when I hover over this, you can see that I can schedule an update, and that allows us to kind of pre-plan as the event's going on. We don't have to go in and edit it. We just build all the pages, and we've got a pretty detailed methodology for that. Each of these pages, so if I go in and let me right mouse click, open with Divi, you will see that this page is a pretty complex Divi page. You can see there's an awful lot of different pop-ups and forms and all of those things. If I go to my wireframe view, it might be actually easier to see what's in each one. So this pop-up is the page that has all of the speakers on it. This pop-up, this one is one of the menus, and I just know that because it's image, image, image. This is the agenda. This is the logout message. This is the profile info. This is one of the Easter eggs that's on that page. We've got our registration pop-up. We've got our login pop-up. This is the logged in image map. So notice it says code. If I go here, there's my image map. It's got very detailed. Now you'll also notice I've got a little, inside that code section, I've got a little script here. And what that script does is that if you click on the area that is designated for the Easter egg, it's going to run that script and pop up the dialogue. The Divi areas show how many Fs. So pretty complex, but each page is the same way. We obviously have to have our chat code. And so when we set up our chat, we have to go in and change the chat GUID, which you and I think of GUIDs as global unique identifier, but this is actually the group unique ID is what they call it. But it's the same thing. It's a unique node code. We have this redirect, and this is something that we've recently done. I haven't fully flushed it out, tested it, but what this does is this. It kind of manages the login process and all the pop-ups so that people that aren't registered yet come back and just kind of manage that whole setup there. And I do need to run through a full QC of that, but I haven't had a chance to do it. We made sure that it worked for this event, and it literally was done the day before the event. And it was before I had you. And then this is the push alert setup. So each push alert has a unique segment based on this event. And then we're using a tool. There are two tools we use a lot when we're setting pages up. So we have to set up a push alert. I'm sure your brain is starting to explode. But we have audience segments that we create, and you can see, so the Geek Out was segment 13267, and I have 26 subscribers to it, and I could actually send them push notifications to remind them to do things during the event, and that's all managed by this push alert tool. But we got to get the push alert, which is really a push notification. All right. Let's push alert. So I went through all of that. Now, notice here says logged out. This says logged in. So if I go into this setting, I'm using display logic that says DSS content logged in show. And then using a different display logic here, which is DSS content logged in hide. So if I'm logged in, if I'm not logged in, I see this one. If I am logged in, I see this one. And so they're the same images in both cases with minor modifications. It's just rather what turns on. We're probably going to change how this is working and start using, MemberPress has a tool that does a very similar thing. So I can protect content by a MemberPress rule. So we're probably going to change how that works. And then this is my navigation, where it takes you to the lobby, the rooms, and Skyview, etc. So one of the things that's going to be on our task is to build a new template that we use for all events going forward that already has all the menu items that it's supposed to have and mobile friendly, so that when we copy it, we're able to make sure it's always mobile friendly, because we've had some problems with that. All right, so kind of went through the pages, and again, you have a page for each that. You kind of saw that on the front end. We never use comments. We never use projects. We never this. There's the push alert plugin. We don't really touch that. MemberPress. So MemberPress we're using to manage gateway to different events. So if I go to the HIT Labs, it is a membership. And then what I'll do is I will create a rule for HIT Labs. And that rule will be something like, child pages of this page is all that those people can see. And that kind of protects the content. You have to be registered for the right event in order to get to the content, which is why pretty much every membership is supposed to have a rule. Don't use coupons yet, but I'm planning on starting to use them. Courses, reminders aren't going to do that. We do obviously play with members, and you kind of played with that. So the whole idea of MemberPress, and one of the things that we want to do is we want to get it set up under settings so that we can actually take people's money. Right now, we're handling registration outside the system, but I'm going to set it up so that I can use Stripe and allow people to actually set fees and pay for it through us. Another thing I need to do for MemberPress is I need to set up SMTP for sure. So I need to activate a good SMTP system, and I haven't done that yet. Appearance, we use Divi everywhere. So let's go down the other plugins that I have and just kind of talk about each of those real quick. You probably could figure most of this out, but I felt like spending some time with you. Search and replace. I had a need. I had to search a bunch of stuff, and I just installed that. I probably don't need that installed anymore. Code snippets. I use code snippets a lot because I don't like hard coding stuff, and it allows me to update things. Comet Chat, they did a custom build for me. And so I don't want to move to the new version because I have a custom build. And I need to somehow, it doesn't none of these auto update because I don't want anything to break. Divi Area Pro, I talked about that. Divi Display Logic is what I can control if it's logged in or not. I don't remember why we installed the download manager. It may have just been a situation there. Duplicate page, it just makes things easy to duplicate pages. The dynamic user directory, you've got all of their little things. Extra styling for MemberPress. I installed that recently to make some buttons look better. And then we actually went in and modified the CSS instead. But that's still there. Filebird, I talked to you about that. The front end reset password is where people can, from the front end, reset their password. Because I really didn't want people to see the normal WordPress profile. Google Analytics. GP limit submissions. Oh, this was a tool that I bought so that people could only do a Gravity form one time. So that's from GravityWiz. Gravity Forms, we talked about that. We've got Gravity Forms connected to, Gravity Perks and Gravity Form Dropbox add-in. I don't know what this is. And to be honest with you, I've deactivated it before. And I thought I uninstalled it. I don't really know where that came from. So I don't know what that is. So I'm just going to deactivate it. It's certainly not one that I'm using regularly. And I've gone to try to, it's some blog tool or something. I don't know. I think it's somebody attempting to hack me. I really don't know. So I'm going to delete that. I don't know where that came from. So I'm getting rid of that. Hopefully I just didn't break anything. Loft Loader and Loft Loader Pro, I put in a preloader for all the pages because I needed a way to control. I wanted the page to be completely loaded before users could do it. This is that logout shortcode, so that I've got a little shortcode called logout. MemberPress Dev, MemberPress Divi content, and MemberPress Importer, and MemberPress Plus. Now I haven't updated MemberPress Plus because there's some features that are core to it that I've ripped out, and I need to get your help fixing that so that I'm doing it with a different way. I don't like changing the core of a plugin. I know that we did that or I'm assuming you did that for the dud. This page list is actually what's creating that directory of that directory of all of the booths. This is the category and tag feature we use. This was one we recently installed, which is the passwordless login. Please do not track. What this does is please do track. What this does is normally WordPress and security will not report back to Vimeo to say we're tracking you for viewership. So I had to install that. I don't know if it's a one-time run or if I need to keep it. Pop-ups for Divi. We've actually updated it to using Divi areas now. We talked about push alert. This is the schedule update. This is a VLink tracking tool that we're using. I'll show you that in a second. Importer, meme types, those are all so that we could get in and actually have people upload things. And then we do have WP Optimizer, and I don't know why we may need to update that, but I'll do that at another time after I've done a backup. I do use snippets. I've got several snippets in here. I've got a special snippet that the guys at Push Alert helped me write. We have the one that I mentioned to you earlier. That's the show logged in as. So that's what this is. So I literally hacked my way into this. I do not know PHP. I cut and pasted from different blog sites until I got something that I was happy. So I've got show logged in as. I've got output post excerpt, and that gets the excerpt of the page. And then I've got thumbnail, and it pulls the thumbnail of the content. And that's how we're doing some changes in there. Users, you know about. Tools, I'm not doing really anything there. There's comment chat. Under settings, you've got the dud. I've got all my settings on load permit. So this is VLink track, and this will be the last thing I'll show you. And then I'm going to go do something else because I have been recording now for 48 minutes. All right. VLink track. So VLink track is a custom plugin that I had written. I have some developers in the Middle East. A friend of mine that I've worked with for years lives in Pakistan, and so one of his guys wrote it for me. And eventually it will load. I don't know why it's taking so long. Okay, I realized why it wasn't. I was inside editing this. I didn't show you the passwordless login. So I actually found in their tool a way for me to create a code snippet that modifies. It does a filter, and it modified the email the way that I wanted it, so that it's prettier for the passwordless login. And then there was another one that they told me about that I found, which changes. What does this one do? I recently did this one too. Oh, it's the who's the from email, so that it's coming from somebody, not, just trying to update that. Once I move everything over to a real SMTP server, I think, will be better, but that's for now. All right, VLink track. Let me show you that. Okay, I have no idea why it took so long to load, but it did load. So what VLink track does, and this is something I'm probably going to get you to work on, but what VLink track does is it tracks all of the logged in users' activity. And so you'll see that I've got 4,000 pages of activity. And it's tracking everything. So I've got 89,000 items in this. And what it's doing is it's tracking every person, whether they clicked or watched a video, how long they were there, was it a click or a page visit, and then it's keeping up with some categories, and then it's keeping up with some activity. And what this does is it gives me the ability to provide to my event organizers details on what's happening at their event. So this is telling me who has logged in at that event, or no, what they've done, what people have clicked on at that event. It's telling me what are their top activities: clicking, viewing, page visits, videos. What are their top activities? Telling me what are the top pages that they're looking at. Where are people going? And then it's giving me a complete list of every single user that's logged in and looked at that. So it's a pretty powerful tool. And I can even go in and look at it by individual page. So let's say that I wanted to go look at this company's booth, and it actually gives me the detailed information on this company's booth so that the vendor knows right away who's coming to their booth. And you'll notice this thing called an engagement score. So we have a thing that basically tracks. So let me go to this company's booth. In fact, let's do it this way. Let's do it in an incognito. And let me go to ThanFu's booth, because I'm logged in here as Scott Williford. So I just went to their booth. So if I now go back to the report and refresh, actually, let's find my name. There I am. So you see, I've got 45 points. But if I refresh that filter, oh, don't know why password protected again. Well, I clearly did something. If I go in and look at that, I had 45 points before. And if I go there now, and scroll down, where's my name? I should have 50 points. Look at that, 50 points. Now check this out. If I go back over here and I click on the video, and so I've watched a little bit of the video, and the video watching actually gives me 10 points. So let's refresh the filter. Scroll down. There I am. Now I have 60 points. So everything I do gives me points, and different things give me different points. And all of that is set in the hyperlinks or in the clickable spots. So we set what's called a VTS. And you can set your basic. I think I got logged out. I don't know how that happened, but I got logged out in the middle of this nonsense. But I set the default activity score to 5. And so everything gets at least 5 points. But then if you click on a video, we manually set the video to be 10 points, etc. Let me show you that real quick. And then that will be it. Sure, this is bringing up a lot of questions. At least I hope it does, if you've been paying attention. Be sure to track all your time on this. I know this is a lot to absorb. It's taken us months. We've been working on this for a year. So here's their thing. Let me go edit with Divi Builder. I need to get to the code so I don't have to wait for it to load. Come on, Divi. Divi's been acting up lately. And if I go here, you'll see this little setting. See this is the image map. And you see that VTS equals 20. If I clicked on the reference for this link, which was the Talk to Me feature, I get 20 points. And then down here, where's the video? Here's the video. And you'll see it says VTS equals 10. And so we're able to give different point values to different clickable spots. Most of this stuff is all templatized, so we're just copying it and repeating it. We have found when we're having to build new image maps, we have this really cool tool that makes life really easy to build image maps. We'll just slide that. It's a responsive image map creator, so it gives me the position and all of that. And all I got to do is get the image itself. Oops, I closed that. So if I get the image that's going to be behind it, drop that into this tool. Go. And then when I want to create the link for the Let's Talk, then I just kind of build this and go click anywhere near there, and you're going to get the Let's Talk, and that grabs, that kind of creates this, that creates the destination, and then each of these has a destination. And then we, because we've done enough, we kind of know where the video goes. We've already sized that right. So you have now been overwhelmed, hopefully, and look forward to continuing to hear your feedback and your great ideas. This is right at an hour's worth of viewing, and talk to you soon. It's going to take forever to upload.